Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a video that is going to give a bit of an overview to the process of using Vectorworks for landscape design. This video is particularly targeted at people who maybe are looking to use Vectorworks for the first time or have been using Vectorworks for a while, but maybe don't use all the tools that are involved in the program. So ultimately, what I'll be doing is going through a number of example projects. Two of these have been downloaded from the Vectorworks website that you can actually download yourself and have a little bit of a look around. And then the third is my own project that I put together about a year ago. And it sort of gives a bit of a comparison between three different ways of designing in Vectorworks, and how the third way or the final way is definitely the best in terms of change management within the program. And it can be really useful for you to sort of see the overview of what these designs look like, because you hear about all these tools that are in Vectorworks, and you might hear that people in the industry use it, but you might not be using it the best way, or you might not really understand what the big picture of how it looks when you do use the software to its full potential. Now, I'm not claiming that I'm an expert in this, and the way that you go through your design process and present your documentation to clients and things like that may look different than mine, but it's more just giving a basically just showing you what it can be when you use the program. So here we've got a file. This is available on the link. It's actually a German project, so all the layer names and things like that are in German, so I don't actually know them. I know some of them, but not all of them. But if you want to get a good sense of what a project would look like, say, from a completely 2D perspective, this would be the way to go. So you can see that he's got a number of layers. We've got Schnitt and Planzung, which I believe is planting, and a few others. But basically, all of these elements, or this design, sorry, is a 2D design. Like this here, if you look here, it's just a polyline. Like this is literally just a shape. It's not anything smart, or it doesn't have any information attached to it. It's literally just a line. This can definitely be used. You can definitely present a design like this, and I'm sure clients would love it. But the problem can happen with trying to understand a 3D perspective view of this. If we go to 3D, you can see that it's just 2D line drawings. Like we've got wall tools that are used to build the house, but even then the house isn't very well resolved because it was never intended to be looked at from a 3D perspective. And you can sort of see there's some entourage furniture and barbecue and things like that that are 3D symbols. However, the design is entirely in 2D. That is except for these landscape areas, which I'll be touching on further down the track. So you can see that these landscape areas actually have the plants attached to them. And this is quite good using landscape areas like this, but you can see that it's only being used in the plants, like the garden bed sections, not within the turf or any of the hardscape elements either. This is just grass, or this is just a shape to represent grass. This is just a shape to represent concrete, I'm assuming, and pavers and so forth. So there's nothing wrong with this option for doing a design, but you're not able to communicate the 3D element to the client. And if changes were to occur, like we were to start chopping and changing this design, there's no way to know comparatively how much paving are we using, how much garden bed area are we using, and turf are we using. So this option of design, it's really the simplest. It's just a 2D drawing, and this is what a lot of CAD was years ago, but it's come a long way since then. So this is the example project that is the 2D version. On the Vectorworks website, they also have a 3D version for you to download. So if we jump into this one, this is the 3D option. Now you can obviously see, well, we don't have any of our lines here, but we do have a bunch of shapes, and clicking on them, these are actually extrudes. So going into 3D, this might take a second to load. There we go. So we can see here, okay, this is in 3D. This is looking nice. It's all well put together. And you can even see in the example project that the designer here has actually included some renders. So we've got 3D renders now that we can show to the client. But in looking at this, it is just 3D. So now when we try to look at it in 2D, well, we don't really have any information here. Like how do we turn this 3D design into a both 2D and 3D model. And that's really what the power of Vectorworks is. And it can sound very confusing when you start, but when you understand the principles of it, it's really not that difficult. And it's definitely worth your time in learning how to do this, because at this stage, if you were to have this as a 3D model, so say this is your 3D design, and then you've got a separate file that is your 2D model. So we need a 2D plan to give to contractors and tradespeople to be able to build it. If we were to change this design, so say, I don't know, this was to shrink up a little bit or something along those lines, we'd then have to copy this across into the 3D one, change this 3D, present the new renders to the clients, present the new plans, and then if there's another change, then we need to do that again and go back and forth. And now we've got two files. There's opportunity for errors here where things get missed in putting the documentation together, and then ultimately what happens is things can be missed and mistakes can be made throughout, which is really embarrassing. So, I actually quite like this 3D model. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with it, but just the use of these extrudes is where the problem lies. Even for the grass, the grass is just an extrusion. And if you're not sure what an extrusion is basically like I've made a shape, and then I'm just going to use the extrude tool, and I might extrude it 10 meters up, and this is it. It's just a shape. It doesn't have any 2D information here. It is entirely, just a shape that you can see in 3D. So we'll delete that. So, looking at this file, you can see that, it is beautiful, but the change management throughout the project can be quite difficult because we're having to jump back and forth from one file to the other and make changes to the 3D and the 2D and so on. Now, finally, this is a project that I worked on for a client here in Australia, and you can see, the 3D looks good enough. We're representing the residents, and we've got like an alfresco and different materials and bits and pieces, and this all looks quite nice in 3D. But then when I take myself to 2D, you can see that we have a 2D plan here as well. And the big thing about the way that this has been put together is that these 2D elements, so I've got like a cobblestone border, hardscape border, and then a concrete exposed aggregate inlay here. These are hardscape elements. So the 2D and the 3D are actually the same, one in the same, So if I go back to the 2D here, let's see. Let's just say that this hardscape area, what would be a good one to change? Let's just turn the plants off. This will probably be the easiest to see. If I pull this hardscape area out in this space, and then I go back to 3D, you can see that it's actually moved the concrete out in 3D as well. So the 2D has changed and the 3D has changed. And that's where the real power in the program lies, in being able to change the 3D and the 2D in one move, so that you can quickly manage revisions to a project or make changes as needed in the fastest way possible. So that's a real benefit to it. And not only that, but you also have in my sheets here, you can see, obviously, we've got the perspectives that are the 2D as well. But in this dimensioned layout plan, I've included here, obviously, the dimensions for the project, but I've also got this table, and this is actually a live table that reads the hardscape areas within the project and will automatically update the square meterage or square footage, depending on where you are, of paving, of concrete, of aggregate, even of turf and garden beds. So if I was to make a change in the design, that feeds through directly to this table. It automatically calculates itself, and then I can publish the document, get it to tradespeople for quoting, and I know that it's going to be accurate throughout, as opposed to, I don't even know, like you could definitely do this with a 2D design and simply click on all the bits that are that and then do your own math to add it together. And then if the design changes, you have to do your own math again, but it's just not the right way to go about it. You're much better off using the tools that are available in Vectorworks. The key ones being in this project that I did here are hardscape elements, which I use as everything that's a hard element like concrete, paving, etc. And the landscape area tools, which are things like garden bed, turf, gravel. That's how I sort of differentiate them. You don't have to do it that way, but I think that's a way that works for me. And I just would like to, I guess the big thing about making this video is just let it be known to you that this is what a project looks like, and the amount of time that this can save you in a design process and ensure accuracy throughout is really mind-blowing when you start, using it more adeptly, and it can really transfer a level of professionalism um, in your design process. And there are a lot of other tools. Like you can see here, I've got sections and detail perspectives and things like that that are available in the program. And when your 2D and 3D are one in the same, all of these update automatically, knowing that they're in the right like the right dimensions and the right perspectives and everything. You can just hit update, they republish the whole program, and it's just happy days. And it goes straight through. So yeah, that was just like a big thing that I wanted to get across in this video. I hope you sort of found it useful to see the differences between a 2D environment and a 3D environment, and then ultimately what is a 2D, 3D design file, and the benefits that it has in using it. There are a bunch of tools in Vectorworks, and I think the one thing that everyone who is looking to pick up the program, whether it's for landscape design or for entertainment or architecture, is that this program is a lot of things to a lot of people. Landscape architects who are working on huge public city parks or even giant subdivision lots are using this, or like housing estates, are using this same program, but also residential landscape designers are using the software too. So it's sort of figuring out what can the program do and how can I let that work for me in my workflow and how I use or how I go through my design process and how I want to communicate that to clients. So that was the real big part of this video. I'd like to go through and make some landscape area and hardscape area tutorials, as well as site modeling and making plants, and there's heaps of things that the Vectorworks University is there to learn from, but I do find that their teaching environment is a little bit sterile in that they have an example project, they sort of walk you through what's in it, but they don't really show you hands-on how to do it or a step-by-step path. So I was looking to put something like that together for people because I know how frustrating it was when I started out. But if you have any recommendations for things that you'd like to learn when using the program, please feel free to comment below and let me know. I might be able to help out. I might not. Who knows? The program does have a lot in it. But whatever I don't know, I am committed to finding out when it comes to Vectorworks. So yeah, if you could put a comment below and leave a like on the video if you found this interesting or sort of gave you a different perspective as to what Vectorworks can be used for, I'd really appreciate it. And head over to my channel also. I've got a site modeling tutorial there that's quite basic, but it's a good place to start, and hopefully there'll be more videos up in the future. So yeah, thanks for stopping by and all the best.